or a basic and a below basic. And so it is not my fault that in, say, a certain school, there are a lot of advanced students who just so happen not to be African American. That's not my doing, and I didn't ask for that to happen. And if I hang around all white kids, I just hang around my homeroom because those are the people that I know. And if they all, or if the majority of them happen to be white or German or Irish or just non-African American, then that explains why I have so many friends who are not African American, because that's not who I'm in class with. I have plenty of African American friends. I'm in plenty things where I'm with plenty of African American people. Like, for instance, when I went to the Junior National Young Leaders Conference, it was a melting pot full of people. Like, there were so many different races. We even had a girl from Germany come. Like, it was just an awesome thing, and I got to learn about so many different cultures, and it was just so eye-opening.
And so, Alana, today what you're saying here is that while there might be anti-sentiment, whether or not only against Islamic and et cetera, that you believe that everybody ought to try to practice not only love, but recognize that each person has the 13th, 14th, and the 15th Amendment rights, and that they ought to be free, and everybody ought to be equal. Is that what we're trying? Is that what you're trying?
Speaking of those, the 13th Amendment banned slavery. The 14th gave us citizenship, and the 15th Amendment, people need to go out and vote. It's voting season right now. That is the biggest thing I want to emphasize. If you are strong-willed and you want America to see the light of day, go out and vote. Because, please, I hate when people say, I'm not going to vote, but it'll be the main one sitting around mad when the candidate they didn't want to win ends up winning. You could have prevented that just by voting. So I encourage everybody to go out and vote. I would if I could. And so I'm just really trying to get my peers to go out and vote, because I have a lot of friends who can vote and things like that. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out there.
And so, Lorna, let me thank you during the last half minute that we have here dealing with this very, very important subject. I think that from what we've talked about, our audience has a pretty good idea in terms of how many people see some of the problems and some of the issues that we raise. And of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments.
Thank you and good
morning.
morning.